Welcome to Loleventvods. Watch the full game of today's First Stand 2025 matchup.
Absolutely. For Team Liquid, though, they really want to bounce back here. They really want to recover and have a chance to move up to that 2-1 spot themselves. A quick update on the Team Liquid coaching staff side. Coach Spawn has had to step away for the rest of the tournament here. You can still see coaches Swiffer and Rainover on stage with the team.
So let's see how TL are adapting. They're going to pinch Doggo's pool a little bit more by focusing on the Misfortune. The Zyra also going to be banned away. Rumble on the side of CFO makes a lot of sense, removing some of those AP carry threats on the top side of the map. But again, Maokai Sejuani is still very present.
Yeah.
And you have to remember that they are just great team fighting junglers. I feel like both these teams want to lean towards the team fights, and so I wonder if that pool will be pinched or instead if both will be left open.
It's also such comfort for Umpty, right? Like, Umpty has had so many successes in North America on the Maokai, on the Sejuani. It's like, that was honestly, for a lot of Team Liquid fans, some of their biggest concerns coming into a fearless split is, well, wait, Umpty's got Maokai and Sejuani as his core pool. It's not a very wide pool. What's going to happen? We'll see if they end up playing that. It will be the Skarner, banned alongside that Zyra and MF you mentioned. Over on the other side, Rumble and Kalista taken out. So talk to me a little bit, Vedius, because one thing we do see is the change in the top lane, right? We now have Driver in there for CFO. How do you expect this to impact the draft?
He's going to be a lot more of a frontline facilitator, which I know might seem weird considering we saw Cassante in the previous game, but Rest is just someone that, in the context of CFO, they really value his Cassante. They really like to get it, and so in the Fearless context, they use him for the Cassante. If it gets banned away, then it gets banned away. But then the priorities shift. So things like Sion become a really big thing. Ornn, also another big pick for Driver. And so he's the expected traditional tank frontliner that you would see, I guess in many ways you would associate Impact with, in many ways.
Okay, well, on the first draft, or the first pick of the draft, excuse me, it's Team Liquid picking up the Corki, presumably for the bottom lane.
I mean, that's the beauty. It is a bit of a flex. They can put it into both the mid and bot lane role, but I agree with you. It's very much likely going towards Yon. I think they want to give Yon and Core JJ a strong 2v2. When I saw them play against KC, it was that bot lane 2v2 domination that I think gave them such a leg up in the early game. The wanting to get that back makes a lot of sense.
Well, over on the other side, it will be the Maokai locked in first for Jinja. This is also, again, like I was saying earlier, a pick away, a denial from Team Liquid to not give that to Umpty. We'll see what else they want to lock in. Remember that last time in the draft, we saw mirrored lane picks for the first three for both sides. We got to see the junglers, the mid laners, the AD carries. We'll see if that stays consistent here as the Tristana locked in for CFO.
Tristana, a big comfort pick for Honku, something that he's often defaulted to, and it synergizes nicely with the Maokai. You've got this double AD carry comp likely going to be building on the side of CFO, which, I mean, we saw Team Liquid utilizing on day one of First Stand. It's still a very common composition, especially in the context of the Maokai. It also raises the value of Rel and Leona. I wonder if they're going to lock that in or if instead they'll want to grab their AD carry. The Ziggs to come through from Team Liquid, we imagine that this is going to go to none other than APA in the mid lane.
This is the APA pick. When he first came into the league, everybody was talking about how the guy was a Ziggs and Aurelion Soul 2-trick, right? Like, everybody always says, ban Ziggs against APA, ban Ziggs against APA. Even whenever he wins on this champion, he tweets out, wait, didn't they know that you're supposed to ban Ziggs against APA? Like, this is the most synonymous champion with him, I feel like, from all the games that I have seen. So that locked in alongside Sejuani for Umpty. Again, I like Team Liquid's composition so much more when Umpty is on these frontliners, on these hard CC champions like a Maokai or a Sejuani. So far the draft for TL, looking good.
Very much turning into a front-to-back teamfight style, which is kind of what I expected from both of these teams into this series. The Leona rounding out. We discussed this a little bit earlier, where both Leona and Rel offer a huge amount of value. With Alistar already taken out of the pool, things like Braum and Rel could be good bans from the side of CFO, given that well, I mean, supports are really the only thing that make the most sense in the context of the ban, unless they had a top laner that they had in mind that they wanted to lock in. But they can save that top lane pick for last, given that you now know how things are going to be panning out in the rest of the draft.
All right, let's see how they want to approach it here. I agree with you. I feel like taking out some of those supports that can be that frontline extra power would be great. The Nautilus, we saw this as a second half ban from CFO in the previous game. In that situation, it would have been paired with a Kaisa, which is one of those all-time combos. In this one again, though, being able to set up for the damage from the Corki could be a scary thing. Also, the lock-on potential with the ultimate is one of the few tools that can be very good at locking down the normally very mobile Tristana.
So the only caveat I would throw in that Team Liquid need to be cautious about is that Doggo, for those that remember when he debuted on the international stage, Tristana was one of his go-tos.
You're saying the swap?
Yeah, there's always the possibility that they actually put the Tristana bot and it's a Leona Tristana bot lane. It's just something to bear in mind because obviously they expected the AD carry pool to be pinched, which is normally why in this situation you would traditionally see the AD carry locked in as well, because if you're already locking in an AD in mids, your pool is going to get very narrow very quickly. So you can then leave supports open and then just save your support pick for later. But by locking in support, it makes it so much easier for Team Liquid. They could get rid of things like Draven. They could also get rid of... Oh, okay, they're not going to get rid of any more AD carries. Instead, they want to ban out a few more AP options on the top side of the map in the Gragas.
And you can see the Pantheon ban by CFO. For a lot of teams, this could be focused towards different roles like jungle, right? I guarantee you when you're banning it against Team Liquid, you're banning it against Core JJ.
Yeah.
Core JJ was the progenitor of the pick in North America. He plays a lot of it, but the answer for CFO is exactly what you were talking about, Vedius. It's the old switcheroo. It's Tristana going into the bottom lane, piloted by Doggo, and Honkyu is picking the Yone into the Ziggs of APA.
Which means that this Maokai likely going to go AP, and I wouldn't be surprised to see CFO round things out with a tank. How does TL round out their draft? Do they want to go for something a little bit more... I was going to say, will it be a carry on the top side? I do love the Jax in this composition. Against things like Yone, it offers a lot of value. I think also into Tristana, you can match in the event that Trist wants to try and go off in a side lane. And the Poppy mitigation against a lot of the potential dashes from things like the Leona, the Tristana, and the Yone, I think can offer a huge amount of value, especially with the disengage tools that you provide with both a Leona and Maokai that want to start off these fights.
Plus, let's go back to start of the draft. As soon as we saw the Corki, you're saying, yeah, draft a strong 2v2 for Yon and Core JJ. Steadfast Presence having such value against both Zenith Blade and Rocket Jump can really give an edge just not only for the whole composition, but that specific matchup. As we wait for the last couple of seconds, and okay, Driver is not going frontline. He has accepted the Battler challenge in the top lane. It is now Jax versus Gangplank.
I mean, it's like Impact to me is one of the Gangplank players. You know what I mean?
He
like
is.
Historically, he's someone that should know this matchup really well. For Driver to bring out the Gangplank, that is absolutely crazy. I'm super excited to see this back on the competitive stage. I've heard rumblings about the champion returning to pro play, but I wasn't sure if it would actually come through, but we're getting to see it from Driver and Gangplank. So, the ultimate value that you have in terms of your ability to cross-map mitigates the split push threat that a Jax can provide. The team fight value, the things that both the barrel and the ulti that can provide are absolutely monstrous. And also the fact that level 6 skirmishes. Oh, you want to fight us in a 3v3 on the bot side of the map? Bang, bang, bang. The ships have been called and the support is going to be coming in from the GP ulti as well. The ulti just provides so much value in what is a very like map-wide meta. I'm excited to see his impact.
And I also want to see how well Impact can play the barrel mini game of shutting those down with the trading in lane. Because you talk about someone who is a Gangplank player, they are much more familiar with the timings and when they need to outplay those versus somebody who might just, you know, lane against it occasionally.
True. It's a question of how good at whack-a-mole are you? And we're going to find out in this game. A lot on the line for Team Liquid as CFO find themselves one game up. We're jumping into game 2. Can the LTA squad bounce back and bring us to a game 3?
That's what they've got to do if they want to keep themselves with a positive record here at First Stand 2025. Let's rock and roll. Let's get into it. By the way, APA's playing Corki, Yon's playing Ziggs.
I missed that.
Yeah,
we were so
I didn't call it out because
gameplay.
I didn't know if it was a graphical error. Sometimes I've seen the draft like just have characters in the wrong spot. No, it's APA on Corki, Yon on Ziggs. Team Liquid switcherooed into the switcheroo.
Wait, I gotta check the seats. Hang on. No, Yon's still in his spot. He's definitely playing the Ziggs. Yeah, I mean, that is a surprise, because traditionally, when I saw the Ziggs locked in, my instinct was that it was going bot. That was kind of what I thought was going to happen. But of course, then, you know, you mentioned it, and I'm casting a Team Liquid game, so you would imagine it's going to go in the hands of APA, the Ziggs player himself. I don't know how I feel about them swapping things around like this.
My forehead's got a lot of sweat on it. I'll just be realistic with you for a second here, Vedius. I'm nervous. It's one of those things where, you know, Yon is such this mechanically talented player. You expect to see him on an AD carry that has the opportunity.
He does have a bit of history on the champion, though, doesn't he? I swear, maybe I'm misremembering.
Well, it's one of those. I'm trying to remember the exact definition of it myself, because it's definitely not on the level of APA.
Sure.
I can tell you that. But it's one of those things where if you draft Ziggs and APA is on the team, you're very surprised to see it not be APA.
That's fair.
Now, I'm not saying that Yon can't play it. I'm saying that I'm surprised to see it swapped around.
Well, I mean, what else can we do but wait and see?
Yeah.
The bot lane 2 versus 2 is going to concede push in the early levels, as is, you've probably heard most casters say you're waiting for that early lost chapter before you need the mana before you can really push a few more levels in the queue that will give you that wave clear. Driver also going to concede some pressure in the early laning 1v1, as APA will also look to have that early game control. Junja, he should have been spotted out on that ward. APA smartly positioning on the bottom side of the lane, and he should be pretty... Oh, he's just going to have to flash.
Immediately flashing away from it. Junja getting some instant pressure there in the mid lane. Nicely done.
And no W on the Corki. Means that that's going to be a flash conceded.
Oh, but HongQ. See, if APA still had a flash, that could have been a kill.
That could have been.
HongQ, though, still going to be fine on this one. Does still have the potion that he can drink, heal himself back up a little bit. APA's mana bar is going to be the issue for him here, running pretty low on that.
A nice stun, but both junglers clearing through their respective camps. Of course, with Umti getting a small advantage due to that detour that Junja took by looking for an opportunity in the mid lane. We'll open up the top grab, and I was going to say maybe even a top dive, but I think it's a little risky this early on. You don't have the assistance of APA as well. And it looks like they're going to avoid it for now.
Plus, man, it's Gangplank. The orange with the CC cleanse plus the heal can just give you so much deceptive durability. And Team Liquid learned something about deceptive durability in top lane tower dives last game, I would have to hope. So Driver just going to continue hanging on just fine up here. You can see in the mid lane, it is the teleport to return first for APA. So HongQ will pick up as many minions as he can. Maybe do a little bit of damage on APA. Just get the most value possible before you have to take the recall of your own. As Impact continues with control over the top side, but Driver also has a pretty significant health advantage over him now.
And Impact, I'm surprised to see that he still has that pot. I would have thought that he'd already used it, but Umti setting his sights on the respawn of the Raptors. The ward will spot this out. Junja's on his way to contest, but thanks to the prio that APA has in mid, it's going to be difficult as Junja finds himself in a numbers disadvantage.
Ooh, smites away the big chicken though, so at least fights off some of that counter jungling potential as Team Liquid with the control over the push here in the bottom lane. The bottom lane already going better for TL in this second game than it did in the first one because they didn't get caught off guard by that level 2 all-in that we saw Kaiwing and Doggo do in game number 1.
For now, it's just a matter of pushing back and forth. Yeah, I think you're right about the Poppy. The steadfast presence does make all-ins that much harder. You kind of have to lead with the Q on the Leona to then follow up. And Doggo's got to really commit or be patient and wait for that steadfast presence to get used early. But CoreJJ, he literally only has to wait until he sees something like the Tristana W coming through before he has to burn it. Resets coming through as a few items are being picked up.
Remember when we see these mages in bottom lane versus AD carries, the battle is the AD carries health bar versus the mage's mana bar, right? You can see Yon almost completely out of mana down there now, so he's not really that much of a threat anymore because of the fact that, well, the resources are all spent. So Team Liquid, with that wave crash, they're going to take the opportunity, go for their first recall. Yon hits the critical point of being able to purchase the entire lost chapter, which is exactly what you want with your first purchase for one of those mages in lane. Back over in mid lane, APA still level 5 while HongQ is first to hit 6. Driver versus Impact, it's also a first level 6 advantage for the side of CFO. Impact now getting the ulti of his own as CoreJJ makes a rotation up to the top side, but CFO is aware that he's there. Umti trying to slide there into mid lane, but considering the Sejuani has no Glacial Prison, there's not really an opportunity to go for a kill on HongQ.
The map really opening up now as those grubs have made their way onto the rift. Good push comes through from Team Liquid into the middle lane. It looks like CFO wisely choosing to just cross-map. They don't want to try and fight them this early on. Instead, they'll be happy to secure the Drakes. And I mean, it panned out for them beautifully in game one. They stacked those Drakes incredibly quickly. They didn't need the Elder to end up winning out, but getting that Soul largely uncontested through some really good fights and map movements.
Yeah.
They're looking to replicate that performance here in game two.
But one thing Team Liquid will get in this one compared to that first game is the full set of 3 grubs up there on the top side of the map, since Jinja is still taking away this Drake. But Impact's coming up. He has made the rotation down to the bottom side. CoreJJ with a slam into the wall, and it's first blood for Impact on the Jax. The cannon barrage is coming down. The Drake is secured, though, by TL. Doggo and Kaiwing trying to come up and interfere with it with the help of the GP ulti, but it ain't gonna happen. TL first on the board.
A clever collapse comes through from Team Liquid. Beautifully done. CoreJJ and Impact just catching Junja off guard. I mean, he was left isolated. He was just killing that dragon by himself. He wasn't expecting these 2 members to come through. I mean, it makes sense that you would think that CoreJJ is on the top side of the map, but he's sitting there saying, I don't need to be. Yon is perfectly capable of farming by himself. What's a gangplank going to do to him? And so they get 2 objectives just like that.
Nicely done from TL. First Drake, first 3 grubs. Impact jumping in here for the counter-strike. Lands on both Doggo and Kaiwing as CoreJJ makes his way into the scrap, but he does not want any more of that. Doggo loses about half health, but can still heal up with the cookies, with the refillable potion. Back over in mid. I feel like this is what happens every single time you jump mid in a Yone matchup, is he's just away from his soul, stab, 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 immediately jump back.
You don't like that champion, do you?
I really don't. I can't say most of my opinions on Yone on the show, Vedius, but we do have another engage from Impact here, just trying to keep Doggo and Kaiwing away, but they will secure the plate before their first back. Ooh, nice engage there in mid from Umpty, but that was a Yone moment, Vedius. Fate sealed, buffering through the CC, getting him away to safety.
I mean, it was mega anime, that's for sure. Stun.
That's for sure. Impact in some danger here. Has to get away from that explosive charge. Kaiwing and Doggo taking the opportunity here, unafraid of the Jax and Poppy combo. Kaiwing now with his Solar Flare completed. This is a nice power-up for him, especially in the Poppy matchup. It gives you the ranged engage that cannot be blocked by the Steadfast Presence and kind of removes that only walk up and press Q type of play pattern you were talking about earlier.
Gone with the TP into bot lane means that he can quickly catch this wave as well. They send Impact back to top, and Team Liquid doing a really good job here in the early game. Doggo forced to flash, thumbs up as Yon will respond in time. And TL taking a nice advantage in this early game.
And Team Liquid with these rotations around the map, these lane assignments that allow them to not miss waves, reposition everybody by working together as a unit. When Team Liquid is the best team in North America, a lot of the time it comes from their mastery of the macro game. When you think about how good they were last year, how everybody was expecting them to be the top squad going into Worlds and everything like that, it's because they were out macroing everybody so well. They were so much better at lane swaps. They were so much better at assignments. And I think that Team Liquid always looks at their best when everyone is coordinated on their map-wide movements like this.
Yeah, and you love to see it, especially after game one, where it felt like that they were uncoordinated. They weren't really able to force much with what was supposed to be a stronger mid-jungle duo, that Vi Talia. I was expecting them to be a lot more aggro on the map, leveraging that combo to forcing skirmishes, and we didn't really get to see it. Umpty, though, utilizing his prior well, once again sets his sights on the rafters, and this time around, Junja's too late on the play to really contest. Umpty, I mean, has a small camp advantage, but the gold relatively even.
He loves stealing away those chickens. I feel like that is, we very commonly see him going after
chicken.
I love chicken, my friend. It is one of my personal favorite foods, and Umpty clearly subscribing to the Church of Chicken himself, as Team Liquid seeing maybe there's something to find here as they set up for what may be a dive if they can get somebody else around, but not going to happen. Driver walking down into the river. We still have, yeah, CFO is, they've got 4 players nearby. Driver's going to go for the recall here as Hongq will be the one stepping up. This is a ton of patience from Core and Umpty. Flash out from Yon, reset position from Hongq. He no longer has the Fate sealed, but Junja and Kaiwing are here to help as well. TL now bringing an APA. Everybody's come to the party as Hongq and Junja have to try to run. They've already secured the Scuttle Crab though, so they'll have that if the fight continues over the grubs. We did have quite a few resources spent on that one. Umpty ulti, CoreJJ ulti. Over on the other side, Fate sealed is down as is the Cannon Barrage. Meanwhile, Doggo just trying to get another wave crashed into the mid lane turret. Junja slammed up into the wall with a ton of damage, coming down with a Mega Inferno Bomb. Team Liquid's already found the first kill, but now Umpty's going to be in danger. Yawn providing covering fire as the Yone barely escapes back to his own body. Hongq at 150 HP, and Doggo could be the next target for TL. Core JJ immediately tackling into the Tristana, but he's got to be careful. Core survives with one hit left, and Doggo's put down. Core JJ survives, and Kaiwing is knocked back into a minefield. Here comes the chopper, and there goes the bomb. Team Liquid 4-0.
Nice punish from Team Liquid and good target focus. The combination from Umpty and Core JJ that was missing in game one. They recognize that Junja, while he does have the flash, they don't give him room to move. He gets knocked up, he gets slammed into the wall, and you mentioned it, Flowers, no resources. It's very difficult to follow up. That interrupt from Yon's W is just made even cleaner as this collapse comes in from Impact. Look at the left of your screen, though. You'll notice Kaiwing tries to flash in, get this pick on the Core, but he completely misses, which means that it's another easy kill picked up, and CFO end up losing another member.
It's a tough one, man. When you go for those flash, I gotta kill this guy moments, and you know it's a one-way trip, even if you kill the guy. Once that skill shot misses, man, it is just sad times as Driver is pretty happy with these trades against Impact here. The Gangplank with Trinity Force fully completed, very ferocious. Just the quick burst trading with those procs combined with the barrels and parlay. Very scary stuff as the second Drake of the game is alive and CFO are ready to contest for this one.
They've set up good position. The mid wave has been pushed in by Yon, whose wave clear is going to be much stronger now that the first item has been completed. Junja has to be careful. He's conceded the bot wave. Right now it's Hongq underneath his tower. CFO in a lot of danger here is TL.
Core JJ jumping in with a steadfast presence. They immediately go after Kaiwing.
Nice ulti from Doggo.
Doggo
Really nice.
knocking him back. Meanwhile, it's APA interfering with Junja down here towards the Drake. Hongq stepping up, gives them enough time to secure it this time around. They cannot steal it away on TL's side like they did with the first one. Nice cover from CFO.
Oh, Driver really getting ahead in the matchup now. Trading beautifully as Impact, even though he has his 2 kills, Driver, ooh, isn't this just a kill?
Yeah, I think that's probably just a kill, Vedius, as there comes the Cannon Barrage. There goes Impact, disrespecting Driver, who just road kills him underneath the top lane.
What was that from Impact? Like,
a mistake.
I mean, you mentioned disrespect, and like, that is crazy disrespectful that he even contested the wave there. Such an easy kill for Driver, getting CFO on the kill board.
Oop. Now the flash away, Driver in some danger with a Mega Inferno Bomb coming down. A little bit more damage is needed. Driver lives through it. This guy is making the difference for CFO. Core JJ burning down to about 40% HP, but it's only Leona and Maokai, so they can't get the kill. CFO are not backing down. That's only their first kill of the game, Vedius, but they are staying dead even in gold with Team Liquid.
I mean, CFO, it's kind of unfair that they don't have just one good top lane, they got 2.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Back-to-back performances, rest with his Cassante in game 1. Now Driver on the Gangplank, just absolutely smurfing. A lot of resources invested by TL will make it harder to contest these grubs, but Driver now with so much control in the side lane, getting that solo kill could be massive for CFO now, because dealing with this Gangplank is going to become a problem.
Yeah, this guy is absolutely out of control right now. You love to see it for CFO fans, having this trump card up their sleeves, just ready to go. Beautiful stuff from him. But across the rest of the map, ooh, let's not worry about the rest of the map. Let's worry about Junja coming in here with a Maokai ulti, APA getting dove by Hongq, and there's no way out. They made it look so easy, man. Junja and Hongq pick up the kill in the TL mid lane.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Flowers. I mean, that was just clean and simple. APA had so few options, and the kill score is closing. TL 4-0 after punishing CFO in the mid lane. But now, they find a solo kill, they find a pick, and we look back at this and, like, you look, Impact, you got a base, man. At this point, you have to base, but he sticks around for the wave. He thinks to with his E, but he doesn't even mitigate the Q damage. The ultimate into the Q cooldown, even if he gets the level. I mean, he even flashed!
Yeah, it was nothing but a tragedy up there in that top side, as now a TP coming in bottom. Impact staying alive this time. Wants to keep the pressure on Driver as the rest of his team shows up. The recall about to complete for Kaiwing, nicely stopped by Umpty just in time. You could see that channel about to complete as Driver ready to get himself away with a defensive TP. Umpty just, it takes a little while for Sejuani to kill somebody, even if they're low HP, but he gets it done.
I think this is worth it for CFO, though. Yon doing the wise move of setting his sights on the mid lane tower as the Herald is being started off. There's no one to contest it. First tower likely going to go in favor of CFO, unless Ziggs has something to say about it.
Nope, not quite. That first turret barely in time, but barely is enough. That one claimed by CFO up there in the top lane. Also the Herald going over to CFO. Team Liquid wanting to get another turret down here in the bot side. Remember, they do have 4 grubs, so they get a little bit of Void Might power. But TL starting to stumble a little bit here in the mid game as CFO finds some advantages in both individual micro fights and greater map movement.
Now, securing that bot lane tower is big, as Umpty going to be the target a bit.
Yeah.
Optimistic, I would say.
Yeah. Would like to at least be able to smite this crab away. Does get it before Ginger can show up and try to contest that. Lets him have the Team Liquid logo there, so still feeling
the
it.
thing about that tower is Hongq got a lot of gold securing that top tower, and he was starting to build a pretty significant lead, but APA getting a solo tower of his own closes that gap a little bit. That's not going to stop the fact that this Yone is really starting to get rampant, and we talked about the solo laners of CFO. They're continuing to get stronger. And it's a question of CFO, I know them to be a team fighting team. They love to 5v5 you, but this composition is very much about being able to play the side lanes, being able to leverage those numbers advantage by going 1v1, 2v1 across the map rather than fully committing to the 5v5. But that's not to say that they don't have team fight tools as well, because remember, Leona plus Maokai, all the utility in the world, the Gangplank ultimate as well.
Or JJ getting jumped on here as Kaiwing and Doggo just pouring the damage into the Poppy. Buster shot and Korgot got Doggo getting it done. Beautiful from CFO. And again, it's disrespect from TL. They're falling apart, and CFO are the ones dismantling them.
Pick after pick, another tower likely to go in favor of CFO, but APA and Umpty here to try and contest.
Hongq does so much damage here with the Yone. Umpty wants to lock him down. Fate Seal gets him away as the Glacial Prison will be spent on the Leona. Flash out from the CFO support, making his way up to the waiting arms of his AD carry and jungler. Means he will not die there. So again, TL gets nothing. Yes, they might claim a couple summoner spells, but it's another objective going the way of CFO, who have now once again earned feats of strength.
At the very least, they're putting a bit of pressure on the map. You'll notice that by stopping these backs, they're pushing in this bot tower, stealing away these camps, looking for a pick. They've abandoned the mid wave. I would have liked to have seen Yon actually stay mid, push in one more wave.
Ooh, nice damage there, but not nice enough. A couple of these moments, so close, but not close enough for Team Liquid.
Team Liquid did a good job of chasing them down, but you kind of look at the map state, and it's Doggo that actually got the push in mid. The bot wave was abandoned, meaning that APA had to go back and catch that wave, so they can't really convert it into much tower pressure or enemy jungle pressure. They were able to steal away the Gromp, but aside from that, they don't really convert it into much. So I think a bit overzealous from Team Liquid, and again, a bit of desperation trying to force a few kills on the side of the Flying Oysters.
All right, Team Liquid starting to feel a little nervous here, it looks like. Junja wants to control this top side river, but Umpty wants the same thing. Doggo still hanging around in this side brush here, ready to protect if Team Liquid overcommits onto one of his frontliners. Doggo with the Yuntal Wild Arrows already completed, still working towards that second fully completed item, as is his counterpart in Yon. The Ripped Herald getting summoned up here in the mid lane by CFO. The charge alone will not kill the tier 1 turret. They're going to need a little bit more on top, and they're bringing everybody in to join the party. Driver right behind it. Misfired the parlay, I think, into the barrel there, so got it just slightly early before it would explode. But Team Liquid clears the Herald away before the turret falls. But it's so low now, all it really takes is one wave crashing into the turret and one player nearby to tap it once or twice, and that thing falls.
I mean, you gotta remember Tristana still a tower-taking monster.
Yes, sir.
Use of the E. Now, this is a good lane assignment from Team Liquid. They want that Jax into the Yone. That was the idea behind the pick. The problem is, how do you deal with the Gangplank? Because you'd think Corki would be good, right? Range matchup. But the barrels, man. Barrel, barrel, barrel. I guess that's what you do. You hit the barrel before I can blow you up. Again, that game of whack-a-mole. APA locked in.
Yon in some trouble. Doggo really wanted that one. Flashing forward, forcing the counter flash from Yon. Yon still losing about 3/4 HP on that Mega Inferno Bomb. Connects, but only on the outer rim to Doggo and Kaiwing. APA using his teleport to make his way into the fight now, but a nice buster shot coming out from Doggo, staying alive for now, but it won't matter. Core JJ ends up getting the kill with Ignite. Team Liquid finally get one back, but it's at the cost of the tier 1 turret down in the bottom lane. APA had to teleport away to make the play. That means nobody's defending against Driver, and he just keeps the money flowing in.
I was a little bit worried when APA committed the TP to that play because I wasn't sure they were going to convert it into anything, but fortunately, Core JJ saw an angle and he was able to force it. Ultimately, just a good punish on the flashless Doggo as they set their sights on the AD carry of CFO. APA gets knocked away initially. Core JJ gets CC'd under the tower, but that two-man ulti comes through. The damage from APA is strong. He has to commit his flash, but the problem is the Gangplank ultimate comes through, stopping them from utilizing a wave to put pressure on the tower, and as you highlighted, Driver securing the bot tower himself. So in terms of the gold, CFO still find themselves with a 1K gold lead.
CFO still down in kills, has not mattered. Even when they were at 0 kills, they were so close in gold, and the Gangplank building up so much just through the parlay, the masterful side lane usage with the Yone and the GP, really feeling good for this squad so far.
The thing about the gold is it's a little deceptive. We need to look at the items because you'll notice that the mid laners pretty much matched in terms of itemization, so that's not a big deal. 80 carries, Yon actually has a bit of an advantage. As Umti sets his sights on the Kaiwing, not going to convert into much. The real problem is the Gangplank. He is like a full item over impact, and that could very well be the difference maker as we get closer and closer to that crucial fight.
We do have a crucial fight coming up here soon with another Drake, 55 seconds away. We'll see if we can get a big battle out of that one. Team Liquid might just opt to let it go if they're not feeling confident about their strength. But again, I kind of want to go back to what you were talking about earlier. Although CFO might be known as a team fighting team, this composition, especially with the way that Hongq and Driver's leads have played out, would love to play 1-3-1. Can Team Liquid force them to show up for an objective? Can Team Liquid hard force like that and make CFO play into something that they don't want to play?
I mean, the thing is, it's an interesting dynamic because I think that TL have much stronger poke simply due to the fact that they have the Ziggs and the Corki, but the barrels can be such a difference maker in these fights, and with the Maokai setup that you have, the ability of CFO to force these fights is very potent, especially with the Leona follow-up as well. So I'm curious as to how they both approach the objective. Right now they've kind of set their sights on the Artican.
Okay. You also have Impact completing that second item now with the Sundered Sky. Teleport available on him and Driver both if a big fight breaks out here in the top side. Doggo getting caught out by Umti. That was the Glacial Prison spent. That was the Mega Inferno Bomb spent. And that was just Tristana's W spent to get away from it. Very mobile champion. Unfortunately, not enough damage there for Team Liquid to make it happen. Hongq now needs to try to get away. APA, Core, and Umti coming in to try to stop him. But Hongq knows if he kills the Corki, none of the other two can kill him instead. A lot of CC done to Hongq. He critically gets away just in time. And Junjin's already killed APA. Core's trying to eject the enemy players, but it's a little bit too late. Finally, a kill back onto Hongq comes out from Yon, but Umti is gunned down by Doggo. Core trying to get away from Kaiwing and Driver, but Doggo's ready to back him up. Impact jumps in after the enemy AD carry, but he jumps only to his own demise. Another bullet might just take him down as Junj is going to cut off Yon, and Team Liquid absolutely falls to pieces. CFO wipes them off the rip.
It's an ace for CFO as they come out convincingly ahead in the fight. What was supposed to be a pick onto Hongq ends in devastation for Team Liquid. The confidence on this young man in the mid lane to not try and run, but to turn and fight against the impending Team Liquid squad was the difference maker in this play. Keep your eyes on Hongq. I thought he was going to try and use his Q and ult to go south to get away, but no, he goes in. He's saying, I think I can get this kill onto APA. He gets so low, the shield bow keeping him alive long enough to allow for Junja to come in, get that kill onto APA, and while he does fall, the arrival of Driver and Doggo swing the fight in their favor.
really nicely done from the 17-year-old mid laner of CFO, recognizing there's 3 guys but 1 threat, turning it back onto APA, putting the fear in Team Liquid, despite their massive man advantage. And honestly, CFO now have a really seriously powerful lead. Not just the gold, but you think of all the flower petals that they got from the Ruinous Otacon, all of the extra stats they got from that. Last team fight damage dealt to champions. A Gangplank ulti raining down on top of everybody for a little while. That's going to do that for you. Here we go with a Maokai ulti flying out. Finds a root into Umpty and Core. Not a whole lot more than that. Nice deny on the barrel there from Umpty. Jumps back in, wants to go after Driver. Throws out the ulti from the Sejuani, but it's not going to get a whole lot more. Impact continuing the chase. Driver has no oranges. Hongq trying to escape. Driver's going to get gunned down. And now, can they turn anything else around? Impact's next to die, and Core tackles it on top of Junja. Now he's got to be careful about his own health bar as Umpty charges forward, but where's the backup? Doggo fires back. APA's got a ton of health, but where's the rest of the backup for him? Now another re-engage coming out from Hongq and Kaiwing, and they're going to take out APA. Doggo's ready to grab more. He takes down 2. Umpty's left in 9x. Doggo just destroyed him. CFO are so much better.
A triple kill for Doggo as he makes the outplay a reality. Team Liquid found such a promising start to the fight. They wanted to capitalize, turn it into a massive comeback, but it ends up falling disastrous once more. CFO hold their ground, and it starts with a bit of an overstep from Driver. He uses the oranges very early. A big ulti from Junja comes through, but there's not really a conversion into a big team fight. The frontliner is the one tanking up all the damage. They punish Driver, force the oranges out from him here, force the flash away. Good damage onto Hongq, forces him out, and now CFO is split. Impact wisely sees an opportunity. Hongq does what he can, but Kaiwing and Junja go over the wall to get back into the front line to get a kill back for themselves. Look at the HP bars from that Gangplank ultimate on the backline. Yon brought so low just from the GP ultimate. Gave that opportunity from the stun from Kaiwing into the follow-up from Hongq, and then Doggo goes beast mode.
Doggo, just the way he's got the buster shot at the very end, so there's no way for Umpty to have enough damage. 7-2 now on the Tryst. Honestly, just an incredibly impressive performance from CFO ever since the midpoint of this game. The last 15 minutes or so have been all CFO all the time. Team Liquid, whether they're short by an inch or short by a mile, they are coming up short as another Maokai ulti flies in. Another death for APA. Another march down mid for CFO. And this game might be closer to the end than we might think, Vedius. Impact and Umpty trying to get something back, but the ulti is a whip. CFO want even more as Doggo jumps over the wall. Impact can't do anything to stop him. And CFO, they've taken the tier 2. They're going to march it up to the Baron. And who's going to stop them?
Doggo flashes the icon of the Flash Wolves. The iconic team from the LMS. I mean, this is the new breed from APAC. The young, promising mid laner. The veterans of Junja, Doggo. I mean, this roster coming together and just defying expectations. Yes, they fell short to Hanwha Life yesterday, but they are on the precipice of a huge victory today. APA gets forced back, but look at this Gangplank ultimate. Oh my goodness, the devastation. The Black Pearl is envious of what this GP is bringing to the fight as CFO just tear Team Liquid apart.
Team Liquid are living in a ghost story right now, my friends, and they are the only ones who have anything to fear as CFO are 10,000 gold ahead. Their carries are absolutely massive, and they're just running into the enemy jungle, setting down vision, choking Team Liquid out of the rift. Umpty has no choice but to retreat, because you never know how close the rest of the team is right behind Kaiwing. Doggo and Hongq putting the work into the tier 2 in the bottom lane, while Driver gets the wave pushed up in mid. Hongq and Doggo now ready to threaten onto the tier 3 bottom. APA can't do a lot to defend, and now it's Umpty caught out, burst down before anything else even happens. CFO 5v4 for the next 45 seconds.
They can keep playing through these 2 lanes, splitting Team Liquid up. Their wave clear is good thanks to Yon. Hongq sets his sights on the mid lane. Just going to be clearing out some vision, but this bot lane tower is sure to fall, and it will. The inhibitor soon to follow.
There it goes. Inhibitor down in the bottom lane. Mid about to be treated the same. CFO looking to just end the game here. Doggo jumping forward, completely unafraid, has the lifesteal to trade and heal right back up. He wants to keep going in, may have gone a little bit too far. Shut down over to Impact as Team Liquid now at least has a chance to continue the game a little bit further.
I mean, Doggo was feeling himself a little bit too much.
That was a wild Doggo right there.
Oh, it certainly was. Team Liquid, they find the punish, but really, it's just crumbs. Given the advantage that CFO have, he just, I mean, at this point, only level 13 to the level 17 Honku. It makes sense that CFO will just look to shut him down. And Doggo says, hey, I think I can play this. But yeah, a little bit too much there as he goes back in. Nice knockback from Yon to set up into the sun onto the wall. A big shutdown heading over to Impact. But there's still a 2.6k gold difference between the two top laners. And CFO right back out onto the map. I think they should set their sights on the top lane, but it makes sense. The soul is what they want. And with the Baron soon to follow, I say that they still have the Baron. What am I saying?
They are locked in, man. They are ready to go. That Baron timer, you can see 2,000 gold right now on the Red Bull Baron power play with it about to expire. Feeling good about that one. 15 seconds until the Drake spawns. The TP already committed from APA to be here and ready to fight. Team Liquid knows that the clock is at 11:59 and some odd seconds. It ticks ever forward, and CFO are about to close this game. APA collapsed on with a twisted advance. He's dead before he fires a shot. Core, Umpty, and Impact all scatter as the Mega Inferno Bomb hits Doggo. But again, it's not enough. Umpty's gonna die to the explosive charge. Impact locked up by Junja, Kaiwing, and Driver. He'll fight for a second, but he's not getting away from this one. The stasis won't save him, and Junja's gonna erase him. Now Hongq back in the enemy base. He knows they're ready to end this one. They're ready to end the game. They're ready to end the series. They're ready to end Team Liquid. CFO getting it done, and getting it done clean. Core's the only man alive, and what is Support Poppy gonna do against the Yone and the Gangplank that have been running the show since 15 minutes? GG CFO, 2-0.
An impressive performance from CFO.